of Scrap More with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and we're here today with another episode of Free Pattern Friday. Yay! It's Free Pattern Friday. And today I have just a beautiful block, and this one I believe is called Bento Box. And every time I see the quilt made out of bento boxes, I just like, wow. It lends itself so easily to being so scrappy and so creative and so much fun. You guys have got to try this out because it's so easy to put together. So we're going to show you how to put this one together, and this is just the graphic that we're going to show you. But first, let's get to our shoutouts. Let's do our shoutouts. Deb at Deb's the Pug Mama Quilter. Deb the Pug Mama Quilter. Now her YouTube channel, everything is going to be in the show notes below. And the second shout out today is Lisa at the Awkward Quilter. Now both of these ladies are just having a ball on their YouTube channel. You guys have got to go check them out. Give them some words of encouragement and love. Yes, you know the drill. If you like what you see, subscribe to them and tell them that Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you. Also, share, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell. Do the thumbs up for us as well, because that helps drive our analytics and helps us continue bringing you fun free patterns every week. My husband and I are just having a ball doing this for you guys, and it's just too much fun. It is absolutely too much fun. We also have a Facebook group that's warm and welcoming, and we have lots of different fun community chats, and we talk about all sorts of different things, including like what the so-longs are, you know, and what quilt bingo is. And we have that kind of thing going on where we do it by topic. We also do fabric exchanges by country to keep the postal costs down. We also have a virtual sewing room in Discord. We have so much fun in there, and we just have a blast in there. Now, the admins have said to me, you've got to talk to the people that are trying to join the Facebook group. Please answer all of the questions. Please agree to the rules. If you don't agree and you don't answer questions, you don't get into the group. And I mean, that's the sad reality of what we're dealing with. We're trying to create a fun, free group where everybody we know is in there, wants to be in there, and they're quilting, and everybody has different ideas. And this is the community we're trying to build, right? So answer the question, agree to the rules. Also, I speak for free, and I'm going to have a second speaking engagement ready for January of 2026. So if your guild or group has already had me there, you can rebook me for after January of 2026 if you'd like. And the first one is about elements of design, making charity quilts, and working with your scraps, right? And how I work with my scraps. The second one, we've taken on a little bit more information and all of my thoughts on how I do things, right? So I'm not naming it just yet. You're going to have to find out what it's all about when you book me for a speaking engagement. Also, shout outs. Please keep them coming. We're having so much fun with the shout outs. I'm doing 2 at a time now because I want to get through the list I have by Christmas time. I want to get through that list so I have more shout outs to come. But you guys keep sending them. We have found some amazing channels, and I'm hoping to give them all a shout out before Christmas. But we'll see. We'll have to see. There might be a few after Christmas, but hopefully we'll get them all done. Again, there is, under the About tab, there's my email address. And then in the Facebook group, there's Messenger, and you can message me there. I am faster at Messenger than I am at Facebook or email. So keep that in mind when you're trying to get a hold of me. Our next sew along after quilt bingo is going to be Twinkle Twinkle, and your only clue is save your strings. Now, if you're anti-string or you don't have strings or you're just starting out, you can cut from your fabric. You can just cut the pieces instead of doing all the string work. But the strings add a touch of sparkle into a quilt. So you got to keep that in mind when you're doing this. Also, Mini Monday is coming back because it has been so much requested by the viewers here. We're doing some changes, so not all of it's going to be foundation paper piecing. It could be small piecing. It could be hand piecing. It could be FPP, or it could be EPP. And you guys are like, oh no. But we'll keep the hand piecing and the EPP to a minimal. But yeah, some of them, sometimes patterns just lend themselves easier to hand piecing or you know, English paper piecing. But we're going to have some fun with this, and it's going to be any blocks that are under 12.5 inches, right, that you're going to be able to work on. So we're going to expand the the size of the blocks quite a bit, just so that we get some fun fabric and some fun things, ideas out. So I think that's all is too. So come on in, let's get to our sewing of the Bento Box, and this one is jelly roll friendly. Okay, here we are at the sewing machine and with Bento Box. The first thing, this is basically a quarter log cabin that you assemble, and the reason why it works so quickly, or works really well, is you're making a mirror image. Right, so we'll just start in the center, get the littlest bit sewn first, and then we can reassemble. Oops, make sure they all line up just perfect, just like so. Yeah, my friend Connie gave me a bunch of beautiful, oh my gosh, beautiful green jelly rolls, and I was like, I found it suddenly, and I was like, oh, this would make a perfect quilt, wouldn't it now? And I thought, yep, yes it would. Now, there we go. Let's get this trimmed. There, okay. So you're going to press to the dark, right? That's important. You press to the dark, and you, okay, just a minute here. Oops. Let's not get confused here. So you're pressing to the dark, right? And there we go. Just like that. And like this. Yeah. You could stack up quite a few bento boxes up. And I should have had a leader under. Oh well. Yeah, you can stack up quite a few bento boxes on top of each other, and this lends itself to being very scrappy. Quite a beautiful piece actually when it's all scrappy. The next pieces that go on are these, and there we go. Oops. I'll just take time just to line that up. I'm out of here. I'm out of thread or two. Yeah, these are really nice and fast to sew, actually. I was quite surprised how fast they are to sew. Yeah. And basically, this is a quarter square triangle. Now you're pressing again to the dark. There we go. There. There. There's really no hard parts in here. That's the fun part. Now, when it comes to this one, I'm just going to start pressing out, because that's the way it's going to lie flat, right? You're fighting your seam otherwise, so you might as well just press it this way. Okay. There. There we go. Nice. Now you start taking the shorter log and you start putting that on. Okay. And I find this block easier to do when I'm putting the pieces back right away. I know, that sounds strange, doesn't it? It's like, it is easier. I don't mess up and I don't have to spend a lot of time with my stitch ripper. But anyways, that's me. There. There we go. Yeah, when I found this green jelly roll, I was like, ooh, so pretty. So pretty. I just thought, yes. They're a really nice mix of cool greens and warm greens. And I thought, yeah, I can do this. I can do this. That would be wonderful. There. Gee, there's no hard bits in here either. That's the best part about this block. Oops. I'm out just by a hair. There we go. Another string out. There. There we go. And the last piece of this goes... Okay, let me get this. Hang on. Yeah, you can, it's all, what is it, 2-inch squares, 2 by 4.5, and 2.5 by 4.5, and 2.5 by 6.5. That make up this block, and that's why it's so fast. This is why this is a favorite. It's a good weekender quilt, a weekender, one that you can sit and make in a weekend. You can make all your blocks during the week, or make them all on a weekend. It's up to you. There we go. Get that squared away. There. There. Now. There we go. Yeah, these are fun because they rely on color and low volume, right? So that's why this is such a popular block. There. Okay. Now, I can sew these two together because their blocks are done. So now we're just going to assemble this like an uneven 9-patch, right? And the center blocks should nest because of the way they were sewn. Okay, there we go. And I get this one out, just like so. There. And we'll sew these two together, just like that, with the little boxes in the center. Okay, there we go. Making sure everything lines up. That's the important thing, that all this stuff has lines on it, and make sure you're not missing any lines. Okay, now I'm going to take that off, just like so. Open this up. Oh yes, we haven't made any mistakes so far. So far, so good. So now we're going to get this lined. Now some people, what they do, because the lines on the Bento Box block is what makes that pattern just amazing. Right, so you can either pin your nesting points in place, and some people do, or you can just leave them, and like at least lay them on top of each other to kind of, and make sure that they kind of get there. There. And there. Lay them all down. And again, lay this all down away so that's going to make a nice little nest. There. Okay. Okay, now, what's going to happen? Here, I'll just get this open for you from the back. Now, it's going to take this and pop this open so it lies just a little bit flatter in the middle. Now, there's only a couple of seams that are going to nest in here, and that's these two, right? Everything else is pushed away from the center, right? Everything is pushed away. Now, if you wanted to truly make this a bento box where everything's lying flat, these seams here, these ones in particular, are pressed to the dark. But you're fighting a seam here, so this one's not going to lie as flat as you would like, right? So this one I'm going to leave up to you. This one as well works perfect because it goes out, but here you'd have to push this seam, and that's what's going to prevent, there's a lot of bulk right there. So it's kind of up to you how you want to put the seams. I prefer the overall block to lie flat. I prefer that look, but like I say, this one's up to you as to how you're going to lay it out and whether or not you're going to let your quilter know, or your long armor if you're not doing it yourself. Now let's just take a quick look at the back. Just by laying the seams on top of each other, my seams are very close as to how they match up, therefore giving me a really crisp look, right? So because the only seams that are nested, I believe, are these. No, it's these two seams are nested. Everything else is you lay it on top of the seam below, and you sew it. So that's what, but you got to remember, that's going to give you the crisp look on a bento block. So let's get to our ta-da moment. So here's our lovely old bento box. It pressed out like a dream, measures 12.5 inches unfinished. We'll finish at 12 inches in a quilt. So if you wanted to make a twin size, you know, 5 across, 7 down, 35 blocks, and you've got a beautiful quilt. You could make this as scrappy as you wanted or as coordinated as you wanted. It's entirely up to you. But the whole thing is, like with this, it's a perfect way to use up those jelly roll races, or those jelly roll rolls that we have around, or leftover, 2.5 inch strips, right? So it's a really fun little quick and easy free pattern Friday. So I hope everything in your life is going absolutely grand, and your life is being treated very gently, and you're very happy. Okay, so you take care and stay well until we see each other again. Okay, bye! My husband and I would like to thank you for all of your support and watching our videos and sharing and liking. It has just been, you've put us on such an amazing journey, and we are having so much fun. I hope everything is going so well in your life, and your 1/4 inch is perfect. Everything is working out for you. And we're just so happy to be part of your life, and you having, like I say, you're watching us. I was just so thrilled that you're doing that. So I want to say goodbye, and I want to thank you with all my heart. Okay? Take care. Bye.